Hey guys, I'm Styler and today we're going to have a look at the Ulefone Power 2 with 4GB RAM and 64GB internal storage. And as the name indicates, this is a smartphone with a very big battery. In fact, it is on 6050 mAh and it has support for Pump Express, also known as fast charge. The highlights besides the huge battery is that it also comes out of the box with Android 7.0 and that it has a front fingerprint sensor with different features, more to that later in the video. Looking at the rest of the hardware, like the MTK6750T CPU, this is not exactly in the top with other flagships, so I would rather call this a solid middle class model with main focus on the battery. This phone does not use USB Type-C, so it comes with a standard micro USB cable, and like seen lately on some other China smartphones, this comes in a funky black and red color. Ulefone also included an OTG cable. Here we have the Pump Express fast charger, and a closer look at the specifications. I already tested it and I was able to charge 64% in 60 minutes and 90% in 90 minutes. So yes, it does in fact charge very fast. There is a small metal pin included. This one you need to use if you want to eject the hybrid dual nano SIM tray. And inside this box we find some more stuff for the phone. First, a quick start guide in English, showing and explaining all the details and features. So what is this? Well, it looks like a ring, but it is actually a small phone stand. It is something that you attach to the back of the phone, and then you can adjust this ring and the phone can stand by itself. Then there's a so-called anti-blue tempered glass protector that will protect the front glass of the phone. And last, there is a hard case with some special black texture on the back and the Ulefone logo. Here a close-up, and this special texture will give you a very good grip around the phone so you don't drop it so easily. And that's it for the full unboxing. Now let me test the hard case. Let me insert the Ulefone Power 2, and it fits perfectly fine, as you can see here. The phone gets a little bit bulkier with this case, but nothing that you really notice. It fits very well into its design. On the front we find a clear and bright 5.5-inch Full HD display with Gorilla Glass 3. The front camera is on 8 megapixel. It also features a notification LED and further below a 360-degree front fingerprint sensor. In the bottom we have the microphone, micro USB port and a speaker. The phone weighs 212 grams and it is about 10 mm thick, so yes, this is a pretty heavy and thick phone. The 6050 mAh battery is built in and cannot be removed. The back cover is made of metal, while the top and bottom parts are made of matte plastic. In the top there's a 16 megapixel main camera with aperture 2.2 and a good LED flash. And in the bottom a CE logo. The matte finish looks pretty nice, but it unfortunately also leaves fingerprints very easy. Overall, I kind of like this heavy design. It feels and looks like a brick, but that's also the point of this model. The 360-degree fingerprint sensor supports tap to wake and unlock, and generally it works good and it's very reliable, as you can see here. The only complaint that I have is, like with many budget China phones, the speed, which could be faster. When the finger is registered correctly, it will shortly vibrate and then unlock. And here's a short look into the fingerprint settings, where you can set up various functions like answer call, take photo, go back, recent list, etc. The notification LED is placed next to the front facing camera and support different colors, as you can see here. When you slide with 2 fingers you can adjust the volume. This can of course be disabled or enabled in the settings. Double tap to wake, wave to unlock, and double tap to lock again. You can for instance draw a M to start the music player, and all this can be set up inside the phone settings. Here the UI, and I already installed some different test apps. but the phone icons can unfortunately not be changed, so with the stock launcher you need to look at these. The on-screen buttons can be hidden like you see here. And inside the settings you can also switch the positions of menu and back. Check this out, it is inside the settings called floating gestures. Basically it's a small dot that can be moved around, and when you click on it, it will activate a bunch of different shortcuts. Here's first a reading mode that will change the display colors. Gaming mode that will lock the menu and back keys so you don't hit them by accident while gaming. And a floating music and video player, here you see the music player. A pad for custom gestures, let me try to draw an A. And yep, this will activate the app called AnTuTu, which I have set up in the settings. Here you also now see the AnTuTu score, which is pretty normal for a MediaTek phone with this kind of chipset. In the top we find the quick toggles. The layout is typical for Android 7, and it even also has a built-in stock screen recorder. You can set up different users. Here you see owner and guest. Now let me just scroll through all the phone settings, all down to the bottom where we find about phone. Here you find model number, build version, and you see that it runs with Android 7.0. And let me just confirm that this is real Nougat. And it of course also has support for OTA, wireless updates. You can slide from the left to the right, and this will show you a special list of all the phone settings. And this is actually part of stock Android 7. Now let me try multi-window, or also called split screen in Android 7. You just hold one window and drag to the top. While in the lower window you can for example choose the gallery. And now we have two apps running at the same time on one display. And both are fully active. This will also work with for example YouTube and other apps. In horizontal mode this is kind of cool, as you can work with two apps at the same time. Okay, let me just end this, resize it to full, and let's go back to the main UI. You can also double tap the power key twice to fast open the camera app. Let me try this one more time. So the camera app on this phone is kind of simple, but we still find HDR and panorama. Let's go into the photo settings. Most of this is stock for any MediaTek phone. But on the second page we also find zero shutter delay and also the option to turn off the shutter sound. It of course also has face beauty, where you can blur out the skin. We have video mode, where you in the settings can enable electronic image stabilization and full HD recording. The 8 megapixel front facing camera has face detection but no autofocus. It is able to capture some nice detail, and you can make some pretty good selfies. The standard shutter is not the fastest, but when you hold it, it can fast capture a bunch of pictures in no time. Under the right lighting conditions, the camera is very decent. Here are some different samples, so you get an idea about the quality. The LED flash works good within a few meters, while low light and night scenes often get a lot of noise, as you can see here. Hello, this is a test with the Ulefone Power 2 by Styler. Smaller games can be played without any problems, while bigger 3D games will have frame drops and lag, so it's not really recommended for hardcore gamers. It's nice to see that this phone also has a full working gyroscope and that it out of the box works perfectly fine with Google Cardboard and VR. It is not inverted or something like that, so finally good job here, Ulefone. And let me just also test the included USB on the go cable with an USB stick. And yes, it of course works fine without any kind of problems. It is found fast, and let's explore the content of the USB stick. Here are some pictures. Zooming is smooth and nice, and the touch panel works precise and fast. The built-in speaker is loud and produces an average sound quality, but let's try some music here. The GPS is not bad in this phone. I wasn't really expecting anything special, but as you can see here, it gets a lock very fast. The signals are kind of strong and the accuracy is also pretty good. It has a working compass and it also supports the Russian Global Navigation Satellite System, also known as GLONASS. Another special software feature of the Power 2 is parallel space. With this you can clone apps, like for example Facebook, YouTube and others that requires a personal account. So let's here try with YouTube, and it will now clone the app. So after that is done, you here see a fresh YouTube app where I can log in with a new account. When I go back to the UI and start my normal YouTube app, you will notice that I'm here still logged in as Styler. And this trick can be done for a lot of different apps, and good if you have multiple accounts, like for example private and work.
Hi, I'm your Google Assistant. I can help you find what you need and get things done. If you need help, just ask, what can you do?
Okay Google. Ulefone Power 2.
These came back from a search.
So now to one of the most important aspects of this phone, the battery life. After a PC Mark battery test, I got about 7.5 to 8 hours screen on time, which equals about 2 days with mixed heavy use. At first glance this may not sound as much, but I'm sure that with only light use you can hold it alive for up to 4 days, as it in standby mode nearly doesn't use any power. Another thing that surprised me is the internal read speed of the storage. Here you see that I measured it with AnTuTu and that it in fact is very fast. So now I will show you info and results from different test apps. The Ulefone Power 2 is overall a solid and good middle class phone with some pretty cool software features. The battery life is nice and the camera very decent. It offers nearly everything that a normal user would need, and for the price it is a phone that I can recommend if you're not the type who needs the most expensive flagship out, but just want a smartphone that can cover your normal daily requirements like telephone, texting, Facebook, and some few pictures and YouTube, etc. For all this phone works fine. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one.